Hey, what's good? So today there's a challenge. It's by FXAN.com, and if you go there, you check it out. There's a challenge that is free. It's usually about $1,000, and it is free. It's by Funded Top. Funded Top is giving away a free $200,000 challenge for Forex trading. Funded Top through FXAN. FXAN runs the promotions for Funded Top. Unfortunately, if you're in a certain countries, you're not able to use it. It is what it is. I guess you could say you have to research on that website which countries are allowing for that to work out and which countries are not allowing it to work out. By the way, this is not sponsored. There's zero sponsorship. There's zero connection. I just heard about it. I know about it. Noticed it was kind of neat and interesting, and I've been talking to people about this for a while. I guess you could say out and about sometimes, sort of on a whim and such things. So this is an interesting concept. Maybe you can use it to your advantage. It is FXAN.com. You can go check it out and try to find the 200K challenge up on there. I'm definitely not plugging them. I'm not sponsored. This is not a sponsorship. I get no affiliation for this at all whatsoever, but hopefully there's some benefit from people out there if this is a viable, useful tool, and it's something that I've been doing in the past also, and that's why this is a spiritual finance podcast, because we talk about tools, and yeah. Let's move on down. We got a lot of things to cover today. Welcome to news, by the way. Got a lot of things to cover. Tried to cover today, by the way. We're in front of some place that right now is a symbol of like Japan in essence, and so there's just a concept in essence of having some Japan mindset to be able to come over to for example, the U.S. For example, it's because of like the anime aspect, the anime style having super efficient essences of a lot of products that are made over there as well. That are just like very, very interestingly like efficient in essence. So like anime, for example, is a significant one. Anime is a significant one to be able to try to transpose into the US, for example. But in the future, we're trying to transpose this mindset from the US into all other countries in the world. So we're hoping that this podcast, that this content, this source for this podcast can start to get a little bit more international. We're trying to figure out the ways and somewhat of a game plan to be able to develop ways to try to get into a more international process, a more international mindset, a more international ability to be able to make content, especially video content such as vlogging. And one of the ways to try to do that, conceptualized today, in the mix of moving around NYC and such things in the midst, is doing vlogging from like a cribs times sales packages type of videos in the future, type of a thing. Like Ryan Serhant does a lot of videos and such things in people's apartments, but people's apartments that want to sell everything that's inside of it, like packages in that respect, like they want to liquidate their lives in essence. So we're talking about like estate sales in essence, but like doing real estate sales, and they already live in it, and it's like we're interviewing them at the same time, so they're kind of liquidating their life. They want to just move on into new things in essence, so they want to cash out in all the things necessarily. So we're selling it as a package, kind of like there's a local person who does his last name Simpson, who does real estate tours in NYC, and like in essence it's like people are already living inside of them, so it looks lived in, plus times you're interviewing people who are selling their assets, so you're interviewing, getting the whole story in essence, but it's like an estate sale. So hopefully we can get down with that and have brokerage partners to be able to fulfill some of those missions. In essence, it's kind of ambitious, but that style of content is already proven a little bit, and so hopefully it would be a great way to continue to try to enhance the brand awareness for DINKY, TehC, and Change for Game Studios. Just like today, we were trying to do a lot, in essence. Well, not a lot, but comparatively, we're trying to step out a little bit more at a time. All of these episodes are sort of consolidating. Like we just started adding art in the last couple weeks, so like the thumbnails for the podcast. In essence, so we're trying to continue to step those up and step into more aspects and avenues of the whole entire world, different avenues in different countries and different touch points and places and spaces, so that we continue to have a way to keep things fresh content, fresh mindsets, fresh conceptualizations, fresh paradigms, and fresh people to be able to partner with and pair with and collab with on a consistent basis. In essence. So we got those two. We got two new sleds today. That are flying sleds in essence. One is a witch broom that was inspired by the store, that's a Japanese store that I'm actually standing in front of right now, because there's a witch lady on the cover of the witch store broom right now, which actually combines. And I've been talking about witch broom like in Quidditch, like and everybody in the world playing games such as this by similar vehicles that we're able to make, like making bird suits and connecting that with an alpine slide, electric scooter, and a hovercraft. Basically ability to make it float a little bit at a time, so we have a fan underneath at the bottom. And today we tried to make an ant suit with ChatGPT at the same time, so we did an ant suit with ChatGPT today, which basically made it developed bat wings, which was pretty cool because it was an organic development of the art. The art made it look like a bat, and DINKY TehC is a bat dog. That was pretty cool of a transposition in essence. And then at the same time, I was thinking about a sled that I have like lying around at an old house, an old family house member, and to be able to attach like fiberglass wings on that sled, because ultimately that's similar of an experience to an alpine sled. In essence, an alpine sled has wheels on the bottom. In essence, so to be able to add little wings, fiberglass wings, to like a sled, like a snow sled, in essence would be a sweet second sled. So we have two sleds to consider. The second one is an ant suit. An ant suit, and that ant suit, conceptually, that ant suit could be combined with like a wingsuit technology and methodology, similar to how ChatGPT made a printout. But at the same time, we can combine that with like a little bit of a hovercraft alpine slide scooter that can attach actually to the ant suit at the same time with bat wings, which is what it looked like anyway, and which is cool because it makes it so you can float down inclines as opposed to having to ride really fast in a scary way down like long hills and things like that. You can float down the hills closely next to the ground. That was the purpose of developing the wingsuit and everything, and just connecting with that mindset and the design today. So yeah, hopefully those are ground effects vehicles. They're called ground effects vehicles and such things. So we're trying to combine many of these technologies. Add like a post that is made out of carbon fiber into the suit as well, to be able to add the wheels actually directly into the suit, like a wingsuit for skydiving, but with wheels in it today. And when I was on the street today, I made a little cardboard sign that was almost like a wing today. Anyway, what else was I saying? That there's what's the next methodology to consider? I have to open this thing and look at this thing. So yeah, to be able to attempt to to basically look at e-commerce in the future, e-commerce like Shopify as a symbol. Shopify is a symbol for a massive giving perspective, conceptual energy. There's a lot of energy in NYC, so a lot of times these little manifested little thoughts, sometimes they don't come out as exactly as they manifested necessarily, but at the same time, nonetheless, like Shopify is a symbol for a lot of e-commerce energy. E-commerce energy is something where you can make a little toilet paper stand and make a couple mils just from having it in the right way and market it in the right way, in the right fashion. So this is the type of mentality that I'm talking about transposing into massive giving energy. Massive giving energy, massive giving energy, massive giving energy, massive giving energy, to be able to transpose this massive giving energy into the whole world, the whole world, the whole world. And by the way, we were talking about selling real estate packages before, selling real estate packages like Ryan Serhant and Caleb Simpson combine together their types of content, but combining that with an application called Mentors, which is like also known as Mentors, like methodology, mentors, like a tour if you're playing music on a tour, and then mentors, like those words combined. So all those things combined, meaning that you go around the world, and if we had people selling their and liquidating their lives around the world, that they could do it like in a mentor's sense. So they sell it and liquidate their lives so that they can continue to go around the world and play change for games, games for change, games for change, games for change, change for games, change for games. They can continue to fly on the broomsticks with everybody else. And metaphorically, this energy is what I'm talking about. It floats around the world, flows around the world, flows around the world. This is philanthropy energy. And this is the type of energy we're trying to stir up and cause in the whole world. So all countries will feel comfortable going into all other countries, and everybody's having hopefully a pleasant time doing so. And at the same time, we're talking about so we're developing this system of accountability. At the same time, we're developing this energy through talking about e-commerce as an energy as well as this energy. So we're trying to also take products like Amazon invented e-commerce basically, which is a joke. They didn't, but they really capitalized on e-commerce, that's for sure. They capitalized on e-commerce, that's for sure. And so we're trying to do the same thing with the e-commerce mindset, taking all of that energy, all of that flow, that conceptual brand flow, and branding it, trying to develop that and pipeline that into partnerships, in essence, into partnerships that already have some significant energy, and combine that with invention energy. Like I was just talking about adding like something to toilet paper. For example, you're not inventing toilet paper, but you're adding value to it, and hopefully adding a couple mils to the pocketbook by being able to do that, and then directly transferring that into philanthropy energy and the global philanthropy energy grid, and then continuing to try to spawn and span the messaging for DINKY Tech and Change for Game Studios to try to continue to span and spawn this energy around the whole world, just like Caleb Simpson and Ryan Serhant selling of real estate packages around the whole world with different people, and them liquidating their lives and their packages and their assets and their estates all at once to be able to join the global giving games. The global giving games. That's along the lines of what I'm talking about. Developing this global mentality, this global whirlwind of continuous energy that's spinning and spawning and spinning around the whole world, so that the whole world spins with global philanthropy energy. And at the same time, it's a global philanthropy energy grid. And at the same time, the global philanthropy energy grid starts to help power the nature of the world spinning. The world spinning faster, spinning faster with this energy, which is monetary energy that's directly piped in to the philanthropy energy pipeline and the philanthropy energy grid that spans the whole globe, because it's connected to all human people's hearts. And in essence, I was talking about getting a mentor myself. In essence, like more mentors myself, by trying to interview people more interviews, so that in essence, I am able to also trade them with some friendship and then accountability trading, by in essence talking about some of the spiritual finance stuff on the front end, and then at the back end trying to find out what their dreams are, in essence, and like things that are left unaccomplished, and try to be their accountability coach as well as their friend, and their friend by being their accountability coach, in essence, then one to the other. But finding mentors in engineering, finding mentors through people that we can possibly continue to interview in these podcast type of situations, and more so like outside energy. I think outside energy is quite helpful for just being able to try to connect with people IRL. They make interviews special, more special, maybe somehow, perhaps, I'm not sure about that, I'm not clear about that 100%, but we're also going to try to leverage Zoom and things of this nature, and possibly another time we'll have to retouch upon that. But nonetheless, talking about connecting heart to people, and people to hearts, and then heart to people to monetary energy, that in essence, heart does not equal smart. So actually, it actually is what I meant to say. Heart does equal smart, more so. Heart equals smart, I believe, in essence, because there's a compound ability to compound energy, and compound energy onto different plates, and compound value into plates in the business sense, in the business realm, in the business pipeline, based on heart. The bigger the heart, the bigger the smart. And that's not related to brain chemistry necessarily. That's related to heart. And that's an interesting vibe, because it has to do with philanthropy energy. Philanthropy energy has to do with business. Business, therefore, has to calculates into different aspects of how the heart makes calculations. The heart develops calculations in its own realm, and it has its own brand. It has its own brain and brand, because there's heart in art, there's art in heart, so therefore it's one and the same. There is brand inside of a heart, but at the same time I'm saying there's a brain inside of a heart, and that brain, it calculates in many ways based upon philanthropy energy, and philanthropy energy is what dictates the business world. The business world, the business realm, the game of business, the flow of business, the energy flow of business is based around philanthropy energy. And therefore, when people have larger hearts and they want to give more, then that calculation, the way that they calibrate and calculate and make calibration calculations and do math, impact math. It's called impact math. The ability to attempt to consider and conceptualize the interest to make impact, and the calculation and conceptualized calculations based upon items that are additives, and adding additives to get together to develop chemistry, which has an effect to develop the greatest impact math, the biggest impact energy, the biggest impact math is on the front end of having a big heart and just caring, and attempting and trying to make an effort, trying to make a consideration, trying to reach out into realms and groups of people that are outside of their own specific personalized realm of people that they're conceptually connected to on a consistent basis, conceptually. And therefore also, at the same time, the company, like the word, the company you keep, the company you keep, it's like an actual company. It's like energy. It's a company that you keep. So therefore, you have the ability to analyze that energy, analyze the energy of the company that you keep, because that's actually a company. It's no different from a company that's in the stock market, for example, because that company just was consistent. They were efficient. They had good qualities to be able to resonate with the market and do good marketing and be persistent and show up on a consistent basis and continue to market and continue to add value to the marketplaces that they showed up in. But at the same time, they figured out what good tools were to be able to reach the market in the most efficient way possible, and got efficient tools to be able to analyze and improve their processes, which in essence can be added on to any given specific group of people or company, necessarily of friends, for example, or two people or one person even, for example. Those additives can be added on, like corporations, like Deloitte, for example. or other items such as legal companies that can help structure and have significant reach to be able to develop significant marketing teams around you based upon specific one hires. It's about doing the calculation, but it can revolve around one heart. It can revolve around different hearts that are combined together that make different chemistry. And those hearts sizes can make smarts, in essence, and develop impact, global impact energy, which therefore is a direct reflection on monetary energy and business energy in the global business game and smarts. It develops smarts. It's a smarts development tool is what I'm saying is heart, which as opposed to just learning. It's wanting people to win, and therefore developing more philanthropy energy in that same way. It's developing philanthropy energy, and that's a significant road to smarts, and also basically business sales by looking out for different people, looking out, wanting the best for the most philanthropy energy in the world to occur. So next, I did talk about mentors and then trading accountability. And the longest term, this is I guess the conclusion, is the longest term is the primary metric in terms of trying to develop future decisions in the future necessarily, because a lot of them have been made in the past based around quickness, based around instant gratification, based around wanting to see immediate results, or like some change within a process or a market necessarily that has to do with immediate results, or a fast spin, a fast change, a fast occurrence. Whereas now we want to try to make the longest term the primary metric when trying to decision make, if in an ideal sense, like the longest possible term outcome to be able to make decisions and make conceptual decisions for thinking about which direction to turn or pivot necessarily, or how to communicate necessarily, perhaps into how to frame things, how to conceptualize directions to move in necessarily, is what can cause something to travel in the farthest amount of time, as opposed to the greatest value in the shortest amount of time necessarily, but it's kind of the opposite in like the greatest value in the longest period of time necessarily, or like in interactions, maybe trying to frame things as opposed to literally just trying to make a day change, or make changes that are more impactful in the short term, more impactful in the short term. We're actually trying to look down the line a little bit further, longer term, to be able to try to have that mindset be a primary metric for just in future sort of mindset thinking and making and such things for a metric, a specific metric for to have extend the mindset into the longest term, so that in the front end we're trying to take the lowest risk, or as lowest risk possible in terms of communication and things of this nature, just to get things started at the most minimum place possible. Instead of trying to start with momentous sales conversation that has like eccentric and over the top and ambiguous and flamboyant language to try to get an engine started that same day and to try to cause a result that same day. It's more so about just trying to cause a little spark in communication, so that there's a little bit of energy to begin with, and that little spark can just grow a little by little. And this is with all the plates in the future. And we're trying to add to our main plate. Our main plate is the main company, the main company engine, the energy that we're trying to get started. But then on top of that, even all of these things, all of the plates and the main engine, we're trying to just start little by little, just little sparks, because we're hoping and knowing that just like similar to the way that energy spreads, just like sparks, is that it hopefully has the ability to continue to expand based upon sparks, as opposed to trying to just like add a big, amount of something that's, going to catch in a lot of energy in a more short amount of time, that hopes to add to more momentum in a longer period of time, as opposed to that just looking for sparks to spark plates, sparks to spark plates spinning, that is, spinning plates, sparking plates spinning, just little sparks, so that the plates can spin a little bit at a time. Just a little bit at a time, so that they can continue to spin the day after that, and the day after that, and the day after that, just with the metric for them to spin and all of that energy to last as long as possible, based on optimizing that long-term energy. Just like having a car that's driving basically on like solar power, on solar energy, just like that, with all of our plates, all of our conceptual business energy in the future. That's basically it for now. I think we've quantified everything and summed it up and rambled along far enough to be able to spit it all out in this little episode. In the meantime, it doesn't look or appear like I left anything out. Hope you had a good day. Thanks again, DINKY Tech. Bye, peace, bye, and yeah, again, that challenge at the very beginning was not sponsored. So yeah, if you're interested, I hope it's a unique opportunity. But yeah, you have to not be in one of the countries where it's supposed to not be available. So anyways, no, that's all though, I guess. Yeah, for now. Thanks again, DINKY Tech. Bye, peace, bye.